Here we have a frame of beautiful Rhyolite, Paleo, I believe mainly Clovis, points and knives from Rosamond, California. These Rhyolite artifacts have been found at Rosamond, a location near the city of Mojave in the Mojave Desert. These have been found for years, and these were all found very early on, mostly by a fellow surface collector, Lynn Moore, probably 35, 40 years ago. Now, Rosamond complex would have been contemporary with the Lake Mannix lithic industry, and they both existed at the same time, basically, and their artifacts are very, very similar and oftentimes identical in shape and structure and workmanship. But these are very interesting. I believe mainly Clovis. Dr. Michael Gramley did indicate that 80% of the surface finds in Calico Hills, Harvard Hill, and Jasper Hill are of Clovis origin, with 20% being pre-Clovis. And here's a beautiful fluted point. They come leaf-shaped in the Mojave Desert. So Southern California Desert, Mojave Desert, most of your Clovis points and preforms are round-based, or they could be parallel-sided and round-based, or leaf-shaped. This may actually have been where fluting actually first took place, where we have a transition between stem points or thick lancelets and fluted points. In fact, Dr. Michael Gramley has written an article that is published on ResearchGate called Thick Lancelets and the Development of Fluted Points. And many of my Lake Mannix lithic industry artifacts, points in particular, are pictured in that article. But this is a great leaf-shaped Clovis point with a beautiful flute coming up about 3/4 of the way. It's been resharpened down, no doubt, a little bit, maybe an inch or so. But very interesting Clovis point found by my acquaintance Lynn Moore many years ago at Rosamond, California. Here we have another fluted Rhyolite Clovis point. We see the flute coming up from the bottom, so it's round-based with a flute. We've seen lots of those. The Hog Eye site in Texas that's described by Michael Waters has a lot of round-based Clovis points, knives, and preforms, as does the Anzac site in Montana, and as does the Ritchie site in Washington, Wenatchee, Washington, the Ritchie Clovis site. But this is a very nice Clovis point, very thin, very well worked, made out of Rhyolite. Here's another one right here, very nice. This is also fluted. Actually, here on this side, there's a flute from here all the way up to here. So it's a great flute going about halfway up the point. Would have been hafted about like that. So we have a Rhyolite Clovis, round-based Clovis Spearpoint here. Again, from Rosamond. These are very similar to the Lake Mannix Calico Hills type of points. Here we have one that's common. This is very much in line with Calico Hills. I've found several points that are just practically identical to this in the Calico Hills, and they're plano convex. So we have the convex side and the plano, which has all been flaked out. It's not unifacial, it's just plano. And I believe that to be likely a Clovis point as well. I know it's hard to believe when we don't think of Clovis points as being round-based or things like of that nature. Here's another nice Rhyolite plano convex point. We've got a nice knife right here and a nice knife here. And then we have another great point here. This is a point that is very reminiscent of the one of an identical specimen I found early on, years ago in the Calico Hills. It's of the same shape, dimensions, manufacture type, and it's got a bit of an auriculate base to it, or at least an indented base. It's got a bit of an indented base there. And I think this is also a Clovis spear point, round-based. And speaking of beautiful, beautiful points, this knife is truly outrageous. What a beautiful specimen. This Rhyolite knife hails from Rosamond, California, and I believe is Clovis in time period. And look at the patina here on this side, and the flaking, the outrepassé flaking, going all the way across the blade face, that percussion flaking across the blade face, as we term it, outrepassé flaking. And just wonderful paleo flaking, I believe to be a Clovis, rhyolite, reddish purple rhyolite with banding on the base. Very beautiful stone, very beautiful artifact. And then we have the pièce de résistance, which is this 6 1/4 inch, I believe Clovis point, round-based. It's it got a bit of a flute from here to up here, where it would fit snugly into the haft, right there. And I believe that's a 6 1/4 inch rhyolite, round-based Clovis point. You can see, starting right here on this side and right here on this side, that the point has anciently been resharpened. And so it was obviously used as a spear point, and then it was anciently resharpened probably just once. It may have been 1 inch longer at one time. Can you imagine? 7 inches. What a beautifully flaked, spear point this is. This is published. This is a published piece that is pictured in Dr. Michael Gramley's Thick Lancelet and the Development of Fluted Points article in ResearchGate. So if you go to ResearchGate and type in Thick Lancelets and the Development of Fluted Points, you'll see this exact specimen pictured as part of his article. Just an outstanding, outstanding spear point. And there we have it, a frame of rhyolite, paleo, mostly Clovis in my opinion, and Rosamond spear points and knives.